rocket arm switch is on. Here comes the throttle. Circuit breaker's in. We have separation.
Afternoon guys. How long is it now that we've been talking about, or I've been talking about, sorting that Akrapovic I bought, removing the baffle and hopefully making it sound the way that it should have sounded in the first place. It's been a few months, isn't it? I think I bought my bike and ordered it March last year and got it in April, so yeah, almost a year now. And yeah, it was a few months behind, as most of the power part stuff was, so I was super excited waiting for it, and then when it turned up, yeah, you've seen the videos, I was a bit disappointed, and quite a few folk were in touch and said it sounded crap or didn't sound good enough. So today's the day, so if I look nervous, you know why. I'm just about to drill into a £700 Akrapovic exhaust. Fingers crossed I don't wreck it. So to complete my mission, I think I'm also going to need my drill, and I bought some stepper drill bits as well, and a pop rivet gun which I got cheap, and a £700 Akrapovic exhaust which I got that wasn't so cheap. If I need any more tools as we go, I'll let you know, but other than that, I'm going to put it up on that towel there and start drilling. Okay, let's be honest about this. It's not as easy as on the two videos I've watched. Both people did it different ways, but the way I'm doing it, the guys just went zip 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 with the drill. You never actually saw them taking anything out, the rivets. They just drilled the holes and then cut to the next section. And you know, the whole point of my channel is to be honest about ownership, and so that folk can learn from mistakes if I make any. So, would I recommend doing this? Get better drill bits than I've got, that's for sure, because I think these, I don't know if these are titanium, the same as the exhaust, but bloody hell they're hard. And what happens is, yeah, they release underneath and they just spin around on here, and then what happens is you're at risk of taking away wearing away the steel as they turn, and the drill just holds on to it and it goes round and round and round, and it actually doesn't drill through. So I had a few that probably half of them the head came off, which is what you want, and then this carcass here, the plug, falls through into the inside of the exhaust. So yeah, you don't want that, because that's what took me ages. I had to mask up the exhaust and then use a set of pinchers and then catch the head of the rivet underneath like that, and then wiggle it without leaning on the exhaust and manhandle it out. It took a bit of doing, because obviously you don't want to damage your nice £700 titanium exhaust if you can help it. So yeah, like I say, half of them the head came off and the plug fell in. The other half, this happened. So you've got what, I think it was about 6 or 7 of these to get through. So that's that bit done, guys. It's taken a bit longer than I expected, and a lot more swearing and problem solving. But oh yeah, that's the other thing. I had to give up on my stepper drill, and just go to a normal drill. So what I'm saying to you is, if you want to do this, start with a smaller drill and work your way out to a bigger one. Unless, like I say, it might be I've just got shitty drill bits. They probably are. They came as a in a toolbox, so they're probably not great. So yeah, I'll give this a clean up before it goes back on. Alcohol wipe around the cone, but yeah, cone next. Definitely moving. Here we go. It's a boy. Oh my goodness. Hey. Oh my God. Oh, right. So, nearly there. Little Akrapovic memento. Right, so I've got to get rid of this little weld in here, so I'm going to have to break out the Dremel, I think. I wonder if I can just push my luck in. Right, I'm going to go and try this with an Allen key or something first, because there's not much of a weld. Basically it's a... I'll get your camera here so you can see it better. It's a little spot weld. So hopefully that won't have too much of a hold. And I can get this DB killer out, and we'll get on to putting this all back together again. A little bugger. Well, at least I didn't have to Dremel it, because I did think for a minute I was going to have to. That's the inside of the baffle. Try that again, will I? So I've got to somehow get something in there to grip onto the... hook it in at the bottom and pull it back out is what I've seen online. Other people are using mole grips. I'm not keen on doing that. I don't want to mark the metal if I can help it, so I'll have to go and work something out, and then I'll let you know what I've come up with. Oh dear. Let's try this. Hey! Oh, that wasn't so bad. Hee-haw. You'd never know. Hopefully. Okay, I need to give this a good clean up and I'll get it on the bike tomorrow and we'll see what we've got. Hopefully it's dry and we can get it to play. Okay guys, at the start of the video I showed you how many tools, well, when the sun was up I told you how many tools I thought I was going to need for this baffle removal, so I'll tell you what I actually used and then I'll go through the problems that I had, and if you do this you'll probably find the same issues as I did. So you're going to need a drill, probably 2 drill bits, one slightly smaller than the hole, and then work your way up to the next to remove the rivets. Second thing you're going to need once you get the cone off is your 8mm socket and a little bar for some torque, an L-shaped piece of metal, some mole grips, a hammer, and then your pop rivet gun. So that's everything you're going to need. That's the minimum probably you're going to need. Step drill that I was using at the start was fine. The first step was going through, taking out the rivet, but then once this fell off, the step that I had wasn't long enough to catch the next bit, so I resorted to the drill. Now my drill bits, they're shockingly poor quality, so I suggest if you're doing this, get some decent ones, because half the problems I was having, I'm sure, well, the time that it took, I'm sure was just because I had a crappy drill bit, because the video that I've seen, the 2 lads drilling out the rivets, they made it look really easy, but then saying that, I don't know if they maybe glossed over in their editing of what a pain in the arse it is. So you're probably going to need a set of these to catch your rivet if it doesn't drill out properly. That was probably the worst bit of the whole baffle removal thing. It was really scary. You're worried about marking across and drilling holes that are too big, or going right through and hitting something because you're not sure what's on the other side. So yeah, that's the worst bit. If you have a smoother ride of it than me there, then you're plain sailing after that. 8mm socket, that's just for removing the little nut that, or the little bolt that holds the baffle to the exhaust, and you saw it had a little TIG weld in it. I thought I might have to Dremel that away, but I got away with just using the socket and the little ratchet. There was enough torque on there to break the weld, so I think if I can do it, most other folk will be able to do it. Right, next was removing this bad boy. Now I was lucky, I had that bit of metal. It's been lying in my shed for, well, my garage for about 10 years now. It used to be in a shower, I think, and it was perfect. So what I was wanting to do was slide it down into the exhaust, give it a little turn so that the L was facing out, and then obviously it was going to hold on at the bottom like that, give it a chap and release the baffle. Well, because of the shape, I'll show you what because of the shape of the inside of that, little shark gills. They taper in towards the bottom, so I could get my little L-shaped pipe past the first 2 gills, but I couldn't get past the second set. And I thought that was going to be game over because I couldn't afford to grind any more away. But it ended up working out okay because all I did was give it a little half turn and it caught on the first set of gills. So it was just the same idea as catching there, but I was catching in behind this notch instead. And I just locked my mole grips to the top just to give me something to hit with a hammer, and it literally took one good sharp punch and then that was it, released. So that bit I thought was going to be the worst bit, but it wasn't. That was the worst bit. Pop rivets. I didn't have one of these. I was going to borrow one off a pal and I saw a deal on Amazon Prime, so I ordered this yesterday and then got it today, so that's why I'm making the video. So that was less than £7, and it came with 5 or 6 packets of different size rivets as well, so I can't believe anyone can make something like that for £7 and make money out of it, but there you go. So yeah, and I've never used one of these before, so again I had a little scare when I was putting the rivets in, the first set of rivets, but I didn't realise you kind of, it takes two pulls on it. The first one tightens it up, and then it's the second one that seems to break the rivet, the bit of metal away. So yeah, once that was done, it was plain sailing after that. That was probably the quickest part of the build, or the deconstruction operation, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that was the easy bit. So yeah, good drill bits. That's what you need for this job. Would I do it again? I don't know. I'll have to see what I think of the note, because at the moment that was probably one of the scariest things I've done in a long time. It just yeah, I was thinking I've just written off 700 quid here for a while when I couldn't get those rivets out, but yeah, worked in the end. We'll see how the old drive-by goes and see if it was worth the effort. First try day I get. guys, just back, and I have to say it's a big improvement. It sounds more like I would have expected it to sound with the baffle in the first place. It's still not got the pops and crackles that the standard exhaust has, but it sounds way better than it did before the baffle came out. Is it worth buying one just to take the bloody baffle out in the first place? No. I think if I was doing this again, buying a 790 from scratch, I would go elsewhere for my exhaust. You've a way better choice than you did when I bought my bike. Well, you didn't really have a choice when I bought mine. It was basically Akrapovic was the only thing on the market at the time, and then by the time it did arrive, because there was that big delay with power parts, by the time it arrived, yeah, there were a few more on the market. So save your money, unless you desperately want the Akrapovic because you love the look of it or something, I don't know. But yeah, I would save your money and go elsewhere. There's better looking, better sounding exhaust for half the price of that. Yeah, well, the only justification really for going for the Acra is if you're super worried about warranty claims and things like that. If you think you may have to put in a warranty claim at some point, and that'll be the loophole they're looking for, you've not got a standard exhaust or whatever, but I doubt very much that's what will happen. Yep. Probably going to keep it though, if I'm being honest. I can't afford to go chucking that in a box and buying something else at this stage. I'll stick with it. It sounds way better than it did, and it's not an intrusive kind of note that it's got anyway now. It sounds nice, and I dare say I could put a downpipe in, and that would help a lot. But then I'm going to have to remap it and everything, and getting that done around here is not that straightforward. So it's not a route I can go down. So yeah, I'll be sticking with the Acra and looking at you lot with a very green eye when you tell me, oh, I bought one of these. So yeah, save your money, get something else.